Hi, everybody. So today I want to talk to you about doing Twelfth Night. Now, a lot of you are going to groan and say, oh, Shakespeare, why more Shakespeare? Because it sells. People love Twelfth Night. It's a really good piece. Now, you also don't have to pay the playwright. And some theaters are having economic downturn. There's an economic downturn in some countries, especially the States. I think Twelfth Night will sell no matter where you do it. It's a good piece. Now, it is Shakespeare. If you are thinking that it's too long for you, you want something shorter, you can cut it. This play doesn't have a lot of areas that you can cut. I mean, you're not going to lose like a half an hour, but you can make judicious cuts with your dramaturg so that you lose nothing of the plot. I also think if you think it's tedious, maybe it's because you haven't seen a good one, okay? You can't hire actors that don't really know what they're saying when they speak Shakespeare. That just won't work for you. It's one of the usual plots. There's twins. There's mistaken identity. You may think, we can't do it because we don't have a male and a female actor that look alike. It's okay. It's okay. It's like the whole Clark Kent Superman thing. Does he look that much different when he has his eyeglasses on? No, but we buy it. No one recognizes him. No one thinks he's that person, okay? You can do a lot with actors that slightly resemble each other, but they're wearing the same style wig, whatever that is. And once Viola gets dressed up in her brother's clothing, you know, they're of similar height or body type. The clothing can hide a lot as far as what the body type is. Okay, so that's not that important. Because we're in the suspense of disbelief of what the play is, these are twins, people are getting them mixed up, we're going to go with it. Now, I think that it can be a lot funnier than some of the versions I've seen. My favorite, I have two favorites. I have the one that's on video, Twelfth Night with Mark Rylance and Stephen Fry, which is incredibly funny and well done. It's beautiful. It is big budget, okay? And it is all men doing these parts. I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying it might be worth it because you can download it, you can stream it, and it was very popular. So you can kind of see, like, why is this popular? What are the notes they're hitting in this play that make it funnier? Great. What is going on with it? My ultimate favorite, even though I love Mark Rylance, is the one that was done at the Oregon Shakespeare Festival in 2010, I believe, with the director, Darko Trajnak. Now, you've heard me mention his name before. He is the one who brought us Anastasia on Broadway, and probably more famously, Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. Okay, excellent, excellent piece. And he chose to have it done during sort of a Mozart era type of costuming. And I don't think there were really any cuts, but he kept it moving. He didn't drag through. And when he found an area that could be comedic, he did it. He really did it. So, for instance, Olivia has her cousin staying with her. She's the rich lady. Orsino is the duke. He's the rich man. So she has her cousin staying with her, Agu Cheek and Sir Toby Belch, and they're obnoxious. Now, a lot of people really think that's where the comedy is, but I think that they go too far with it. What we have to establish is that, and Shakespeare wrote it carefully, we never actually see Olivia complaining to Malvolio, her servant, her steward, about her cousin. We know he's obnoxious. Malvolio, who turns out to be the villain, he just complains to them and scolds them all the time that you're being obnoxious, my lady this, my lady that, my lady said this, my lady said that. We never see it in the play. Okay, so there might be something worth it to seeing Olivia, who is in grieving, in mourning, to never see her really interact with her cousin. That's okay. It's a big place. She's rich. And if you do have her interact, there's really no lines, but you can give her a well-meaning, like, I'm busy with my own thing, and like, oh, you, those guys, those scamps. And she never is seen complaining. So we really get to think that Malvolio is making this up. Whether he is or not, who knows? And although Aguecheek and Chitobi Belch are obnoxious, I think what you need to do is really just make them silly and sort of drunk. Whatever that means to you. And they get loud. No, they're loud through the entire paragraph? No. Loud moments that make Malvolio angry. Because they are with Mariah, and she does respect. She is the lady-in-waiting, the maidservant, the lady servant, the dresser. She never really scolds them, but she's on her lady's side. So if it was really that bad, she would say something and keep saying something. So it really doesn't work when they're just running at the audience, being totally a mess. Well, why wouldn't Malvolio scold them? We need to establish that Malvolio is a bit of a jerk, so playing them down and just being funnier with bits of obnoxiousness makes Malvolio seem all the more of a jerk, and that's what we want. There are sections where they trick Malvolio and Chubby Belch and Aguecheek and Mariah, and they do a letter that's supposed to be from Olivia that make him sound like Malvolio has a chance with her, that she's enamored of him. So usually the way it's played is that it's in a garden or somewhere, and he's reading aloud and to the audience, and they're hiding from him, and a lot of the jokes is what he's reading and them trying to hide from them. Now, what I really love is that Darko Trejnak didn't really beef up them hiding. They were sort of slipping behind poles and so forth, just in case he saw them. He was in front of them, and they were slightly behind, but it wasn't the crux of the joke. The emphasis was that they brought in all the other cast members to watch this happening. Everyone that didn't like Malvolio in the house, or servants, or next door servants, or anyone else, they all watched this happen, with Malvolio not seeing them behind. And there wasn't a big deal about them hiding either. They were just sort of hidden a little bit. You could see half their bodies, that kind of thing. And they all got to witness this setup, and no one told him. That's a big deal. That is much more interesting. So they all know, not just these three. It's more interesting if regular people know rather than just two drunks and a kooky fun maid. It's much more interesting. Then you have Malvolio dressing weird and trying to seduce his lady and so forth, and that's all hilarious. And then you have the reveal, oh, I thought there was this twin, I thought this female twin is dressing as a man, I thought she was a man, then the male twin arrives. There's a lot of back and forth about the twins. But what's really funnier is that when it's finally revealed that there are two of them, and she goes, do I see double vision? Oh my God. If the drunks, who are still a little loopy, a couple of imbalanced things, they sell it. What if they're like silently behind, like, it's obvious. It's obvious that one's a girl and that one's a boy. They're different heights. How can the Duke and Olivia not tell what sex they are, what gender they are? And if the drunks are like, that one has an Adam's apple. They don't say it, but they're like, and she, no. It's much funnier. It's much funnier if other people know the truth and they can see it, but they're drunks. And the people that are sober all the time are so in love, they've never figured it out. Okay? There's a lot that can happen with Twelfth Night, and I believe that it's a lot funnier than most people are directing it as. You can just feel it when you see a good production, and all these little moments are released like, oh, I'm not going to steal the moment that they've created, this director and this group has created, But I see there's more here in this script to search for, to mine out, and we really like the relationships they have with each other. Okay? A lot of the success of Friends, the TV show, were the special style relationships they had with each other and their quirks. Okay? It's funny when Olivia and Mariah, when the Viola, in disguise as a man, comes on behalf of the Duke to present her with a ring, and she says, "May I know the lady of the house? Who are you? Who are you?" And it's much funnier when Mariah, maybe an extra maid, they all do something quickly to sort of look the same, like, "You may speak to me," which is not really Olivia. It's just somebody else. Maybe it's Mariah, maybe it's the extra maid. And, they have to, Viola, as a man, has to choose which one he thinks is the lady of the house. Much funnier. The relationship between the women, we need to see more of that. Olivia and Mariah have a close relationship. They have a really close relationship. The relationship with Malvolio that she has is much more formal. He makes it formal. He makes it weird. He's a bit of a kook. And the other three, with this weird letter, send him over the edge. Okay? Malvolio, in the end, when it's revealed that he was screwed over, has a little hissy fit, and he says, "I'll be revenged. I'll be revenged on the lot of you." And he stomps off. Not so funny. But it's important that we see him leave the stage, that he just can't take this. This is a good close to this chapter of this play, and whatever else happens. Everybody ends up falling in love with the right person, so forth. There is just something funny to be had in every section of this play, and there are far too many to mention. As you read it, you may think, well, that's not funny, but let your mind wander of, like, how can I beef this up? And where are the parts that are truly sad, especially when someone in the beginning lends Viola money as in her mail form, but then when her brother finally arrives, that person gets confused. "I lent you money." "No, you didn't." "Yes, I did." "No, I didn't." They lent the wrong twin money. That's pretty sad. "You don't trust me." That's pretty sad. We need these highs and lows in this play to really make it interesting and not just one note. That makes these scenes better. And if you cut it, be careful. Don't cut too much. Don't cut any of the plot out. Often I see people cutting out that section that I just brought up, which is why I brought it up. Who is this new character that lent this guy money and now he's upset? Like, he's not on for many scenes. Is he on in the beginning and on in this little scene? Where does he go after that? And they often cut that scene, which I think is a mistake. It's put there by Shakespeare for many reasons, but it reminds us that other people, other than the Duke and Olivia, are falling for this woman dressed as a man. Other characters are falling for it. It's there for a reason. Okay? This is believable to other characters. Even if you think, as a theater, like, my actors, they don't look like twins. Or they do look like twins enough, only because of the costumes and the hair. That's not much. It's fine. We're suspending our disbelief. Okay? Which we do a lot. Do we really believe that Daryl Hannah was a mermaid in Splash? Yes, because we've decided to buy into that. And all these other stories where we decide to buy into this disbelief, because there are reminders and sections of each of these stories believing that what's in front of us is what is part of the story. We believe this woman is dressed as a man is actually a man. Okay, everyone's believing it. Now we have another character believing it. Okay, there are reasons these things are there. Don't cut them. Hiring a dramaturg to catch all those things you think you want to cut, Because as directors and artistic directors and producers, we are all in theater and we are all sort of overly verbal people. That's why these videos are so long. We are overly verbal people or overly literary, but we can miss things. And a dramaturg's job, what their training is, to look at these scripts and make sure you've not lost any plot point, however small. Because some plot points, some reminders are small. And as you're going through the whole script in a linear fashion, you're forgetting. Not because you're dumb, you're just forgetting. Dramaturgs write these things down, they keep track of things. It's almost like a scoreboard of like, well, she thinks this and that thinks that and so forth. I'm going to cross-reference this, cross-reference that. And it's very analytical. And they go through it in a linear fashion and then go back through it like a screenplay that's being shot out of sequence and go, that ties in with this, ties in with that. This section here, which is going to take 2 minutes, 3 minutes, has nothing to further along the plot. We can cut that guy out. Okay, that's plot. That's a section we can lose, and that's how you cut a play. So, again, be careful. I think more of you should do Twelfth Night. It always seems to sell. You don't have to pay the playwright. It's inexpensive. You can do it in any fashion you want. Really. I think when it's a comedy and you're upping the comedy, which I think you should, then it's a little more about glam, silly costumes, not crazy silly costumes, because then you diminish how outlandish Malvolio is dressing when he comes to Olivia in yellow stockings and cross garters. If everyone's in a crazy costume, then that's not going to land, okay? Theirs have to make sense. But choose any time period, okay? We're going to go with it. It's going to be okay. And then Malvolio gets to have the weirdest outfit. Okay, that's part of it. I think this is excellent. See a few versions of it. There's a ton of them online with YouTube. And you can see the Mark Rylance one on streaming. Unfortunately, you can't see the one I keep referencing, which is the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, Darko Trejnak, 2010. That was not recorded, like so many shows that aren't. But it's beautiful. It's amazing. Look online, Google the images. You'll see like, oh, I get it. I get what's happening here. Okay. Also, it's a great piece if you have extra actors that you want to bring on stage to just be extra servants or ladies in waiting or men in waiting for Orsino, which is a thing. It just depends on what you want to do. They don't have lines, but they can have comedic moments being part of the crowd that observes all this, especially observing Malvolio getting the letter that will eventually give him his comeuppance. Okay, have a look, see what you think. I will include the script and several reviews and see if this works for you. Maybe you've just discounted it thinking, I've done enough classical. I'll just let this one go past me. It's a good piece. It could be for you. All right. Thanks so much. We'll talk again. Bye.